we're gonna do something that I've never done before. It is a reading recap. Like, I'm gonna just do a May reading recap with everything that I read this month, and I'm gonna tell you a little bit about every book, and I'm gonna tell you my rating for the book and like my general opinion on the book. And without further ado, let's get into the video. So I have a list here, and then I have my book journal here. Like, with the list, it's just it's the important stuff, like which books I've read. In total, I have read 11 books, and also my ratings. I read a lot of good books this month. I think like 5 stars, I think. Not quite sure, but we'll see. And then I just have my book journal, because here I documented like a bit more, like what genre, when I read it, and all that stuff. So yeah, let's start. And the first book that I read this month is Sea Walkers, the 6th book. It's actually a German, like, teeny book. It's really more kids book than a young adult book. And I just started the series like a year ago, and I never finished it. But I thought to myself, hey, I'm on holiday, because I was on holiday in the end of May. So I just finished it because I just want to finish it. And I gave it 4 stars because it was really cool, really fun. And it was the last book of the series. So I always prefer the last book of the series to like the first couple books, because then it's like everything comes together and it's like the big finale, and that's basically what this was. So yeah, I really like that. Next up is Songs for the Broken. It's about a singer, and she has to fake date a football player, I think. It's kind of like Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce if you think about it, only that they're actually dating. I mean, in the end, the others are also dating. That's not a spoiler, is it? No, it isn't. It's fake dating, but then, well, you know how fake dating works. It's they fake date, then they don't fake date anymore. And this book had the best third act breakup ever, and it also had a miscommunication trope, but it didn't even bother me because I just actually loved the book. And it was pretty emotional, but like I like that kind of stuff, so I enjoyed it. And I also gave it 5 stars because I liked it that much. Next up is The Ballad of Never After by Stephanie Garber, because I read the first book on holiday, Once Upon a Broken Heart, and this is like the second book of the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, and I absolutely loved it. It's 5 stars. Right after I read that 5-star book, I read another 5-star book. Like I said, May was full of 5 stars, and I really liked it. If you don't know what it's about, the series, it's about Jax, the Prince of Hearts. He falls in love with Evangeline Fox, and basically they just have all these adventures in the Magnificent North. And it feels like a Disney movie, just that it isn't a Disney movie, but it's basically a modern Disney story, just like not that modern. I think you're getting what I'm talking about. The next book, I read ACOTAR this month. Well, actually, I read ACOTAR last month in April. No, 2 months ago, because now it's June. Oh, gosh, this is so confusing. Okay. I read the first ACOTAR book in April, and I read the whole rest of the series in May. There we go. So I read Aftermath, A Court of Mist and Fury, and I absolutely loved it, and I am still not over that book. Like, I'm literally re-listening it, because on Spotify you can listen to the audiobook, and of course I'm listening to the audiobook because I'm just not over the story. Like, that story is so good, and I was like so sad for Rhysand, but then I also hated like every person you're supposed to hate. God, it's so hard not to spoil it. Okay, if you haven't read ACOTAR and you want to read it and you don't want like a bit of a spoiler for ACOTAR, Aftermath, then skip here. But have you skipped? Okay. I hate Tamlin so much. He annoys me. Like, he literally locked Feyre in that, what was it? In his house. And like, Lucien didn't even do anything about it, even though he knows that she's friends. No, that happens in the end of the book. Oh my god, this series is so confusing. Okay. If you didn't read that, short form, I absolutely loved A Court of Mist and Fury, and if you haven't read the ACOTAR series, what are you doing? You need to read it. It's absolutely great. Like, it's God tier series. Says me, who has like 1 God tier series. But still, I I just love it. I mean, these characters, they have so many different characters, and it's not like confusing different characters. Like, it's not like you have like 5 million characters and you have no clue who's who. It's like an organized chaos. Okay, next book that I've read, like I said, I have my list here, so I'm gonna look down, is A Curse for True Love, the third book and the last book in Stephanie Garber's Once Upon a Broken Heart series, which I honestly didn't like it as much as the first 2 books because Apollo just annoyed me. He just made me want to rip my arm out, so I had something to throw at the book, which, not in a good way, because like in other books, like I don't like the character, but I'm like, okay, I can live with him. Or like in Powerless, I wanted to like throw the book at the wall multiple times when we had the king, but I didn't. Because, and I kind of like the feeling of like hating him. I didn't like the feeling of hating Apollo because like he was mean, but then he was like trying to like make himself think he's the good guy, and I just hated him too much. I couldn't get over him. Like about how much I hate him, not how much I loved him and now I hate him. I never liked him because he's not the love interest. He's not Jackson. If he's not Jackson, I'm not gonna like him. If that makes sense. I said if that makes sense a lot of times. Maybe I should just talk sense. So anyways, I gave that book 3 stars because I was just too annoyed with Apollo. Next book is ACOWAR, or also A Court of Wings and Ruin. And, well, there's not much to say. I loved it. I would reread it again if I hadn't read it in the library. No, I didn't read it in the library. I got the book from the library, so I had to give it back. I gave that book 4 stars. It wasn't a 5-star book for me because, well, nothing can be better than A Court of Mist and Fury, and it wasn't as good because we didn't like get the Rhys and Feyre falling in love. We had them in love, which I thought was really cute, but I just preferred it when they're like falling in love and not they're already in love, because then you don't have the falling in love things, and we didn't get all like the enemies being still enemies like we had in Court of Mist and Fury. So I only gave that 4 stars, but like, why only 4 stars are really good? That's why I gave it 4 stars, because 4 stars are actually really good. And then I couldn't stop reading ACOTAR, so I basically just read the whole series. So I continued with ACOFAS. Do you actually say ACOFAS, or do you just say A Court of Mist? A Court of Frost and Starlight. I actually read that in like a day. It was really just like a nice little holiday book. Just that I read it in May, which isn't a holiday. But still, I really liked it. I didn't quite get the point of it, except for like maybe realizing that Nesta is just being totally bitchy about it. And like Elaine trying to like get back into like society and actually managing to like integrate herself into the inner circle, which I think is really cute. But I hated Nesta and that, and I didn't really get the point of it. But yeah. Then next book I've read is A Court of Silver Flames. Surprise! Oh yeah, I gave A Court of Frost and Starlight 4 stars, by the way. Then A Court of Silver Flames is the last book that's out in the series, but more are coming on October 27th, if I'm correct. And I will absolutely read it. I will not reread everything. I think I'll just like listen to A Court of Silver Flames when the next book comes out, and then I will know enough to like know what happens. That's my plan. I hope that's smart. If it's not, then tell me. So anyways, I read A Court of Silver Flames, which is about Cassian and Nesta, which if you've read ACOTAR, you know who they are. If you haven't read ACOTAR, Nesta is kind of like the mean stepsister in Cinderella. Yeah, the mean Cinderella. It's Cinderella, isn't it? Yeah, exactly. Because ACOTAR is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, but with the family of Cinderella. Books are confusing. So, and it's about her and Cassian is like this general of like the Night Court, and he's like dark, and he's like a bad boy. Not bad boy, bat boy. Like literal bats. Like I said, if you've read ACOTAR, you know what I'm talking about, and it won't sound as stupid as if you haven't read ACOTAR. Yeah, if you haven't read ACOTAR, I'm gonna sound so stupid. But like, and well, yeah. And I just love ACOTAR. Like also the detail with the wingspan, I have to laugh every time. It's hilarious. I love this series. Like I finished that book and I was staring at the ceiling for like 20 minutes until my mother called me to go cook. Like, that was how long it took me just like realize that I finished the series, and like I have to live now, and I have to live without like getting new stuff. Like, the only thing I could do was reread until October. So I'm still getting over it. And because it was the last book, and because it was just so good, and because I hated Nesta in the beginning and loved her in the end, I gave it 4.5 stars. So basically, like, I gave almost all ACOTAR books 4 stars, except for Court of Mist and Fury, which I gave 5 stars to. And then I was like, okay, what could ever top this book? And then I read Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver, and I was like, yeah, that's what's gonna top this book. I finished that book in a weekend. I literally started it on Saturday evening so I read A Court of Silver Flames, and I was like, yeah, cool book. And I only read 200 pages that day, which is more than I read usually in a day. And then in the evening, I was like, hey, you know what? I'm in the mood for a bit of light reading. I'm just gonna start Wild Eyes. And then I started reading, and one thing turned to another. One chapter turned into another, and basically I was like, just one more chapter. Basically what I did with Wildside. I'm looking at Wildside because it's right in front of my nose in my bookshelf. No, Wild Eyes is, I read the first 100 pages, I was hooked, I was giggling, I was kicking my little feetsies, but then I had to go to sleep, which actually made me really sad, but I couldn't sleep for a long time because I was just still so hyped up from that book. And then the next day, I finished it. I read those last 300 pages and I absolutely ate it up. I mean, I was like at 200 pages in the afternoon, and then in the evening I just read the other 100 pages. I wasn't awake the next day. I was like sleeping in school, but that's okay because Mondays are always really relaxed and we don't have anything important. So I could sleep in school. Don't take it literally, by the way. Like, I didn't actually sleep in school. I'm exaggerating. You do realize I'm exaggerating, right? So anyways, I absolutely loved that book. I was giggling the whole time. I think it was a third act breakup, which like no romance book literally ever has no third act breakup. Wildside doesn't have a third act breakup, and Wild Love doesn't have a third act breakup. I have to rethink a lot during this video. I should do this more often. It really gets me to think. So, and I gave that book 5 stars because it's awesome. If you've read it, you know what I'm talking about. And then I read another ballad. This ballad is The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Oh my god, I thought. Wait a minute. Yes. Let's see now. Okay, we're going. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which is a Hunger Games novel. It's the story of Coriolanus Snow. I could not say Coriolanus at the beginning of this book, so it was a process of 500 pages to get me to learn to say his name. And I still just call him Snow because it's impossible to say his name. And in the beginning I was like, oh my god, he's really nice. I like him. Like, I like him a lot. He's fun. And then Lucy Gray came and I was like, yep, love her. New favorite character. She's absolutely awesome. And like, her performance, I watched the film clip. I haven't actually seen any Hunger Games films, but I'm gonna do that this summer. It's on my bucket list. And then I watched a film clip, and she was like, you can take my sass, and you can kick my ass. And I was like, yes girl, I like her. And then she went into the Hunger Games, and I was so scared for her the entire time. Because I don't know if she's gonna win or not. And I'm not gonna spoil anything, whether she's going to be the winner or not. Because I know it was gonna be sad and they weren't gonna end up together. Like, everybody knows that, right? Yeah, everybody knows that. So, because, you know, Snow doesn't have Lucy Gray as his partner. Otherwise, we would have known that in the Hunger Games novel. And you wouldn't know in the actual Hunger Games. Because you would know if Snow was with Lucy Gray because we would have heard her name, but we never heard her name. So we have to know that there's gonna be a fallout sometime along the line. Hope that makes sense. And I liked him, but I liked him a little less. And then I realized why we hate him. Because in the beginning I forgot that he was this mean guy who like tried to kill Katniss and Peeta and basically every Hunger Games person we like. He tried to kill him. Okay, he didn't try to kill. I'm gonna spoil everything, so I'm not gonna do that because we are not spoiling people. Although I do spoil everything because I just do not expect anyone to care. Do with that what you will. And I gave this book 3 stars because it just... Why did I give it 3 stars? It was really good. No, I'm gonna change my rating to 4 stars. I have to change my rating. I gave this book 4 stars. It's not a 5-star book because I just hated Snow too much. He was just... You guys, when I tell you how much I hate this man, like, oh, my god. I can't tell you without spoiling, like, the entire plot, so I'm not gonna. But he's mean. And you know that from the Hunger Games. And we absolutely hate him, and we wanna we wanna rip our arms out so we have something to throw at him. By the way, do you know where that's from? It's from Friends. It's like the scene where Joey's like, Chandler, I just hate Janice. Every time I see her, it makes me want to rip my arm out so I have something to throw at her. And she's like, and then she comes in. She's like, so Joey, I heard you had a problem with... No, Joey, I heard you have a problem with me. He's like, no, not a problem, just like a general not liking you. It's nothing bad, like nothing big. And Janice is like, well, Chandler said that it's something about you wanting to rip your arm out just so you have something to throw at me. Which, honestly, now I love her. She's so cool. So yeah, we're still talking about Snow. We're still talking about the Battle of Never After. And I am going to read Sunrise on the Reaping quite soon as I get it from the library. And last but certainly not least, in the last weekend, I read Swept Away by Beth O'Leary, which is like a really cute little romance. It's about, well, Zeke and Lexi, and they have a one-night stand, and on the houseboat, and they get swept away, literally. Like, they tie the houseboat to itself, because they both think that it's... Because Lexi thinks it's her houseboat, and Zeke knows it's his houseboat. And so, when, like, the neighbor says, oh no, you have to tie it, they both think your friend has to tie it. They both think the other friend has, like, the other one is the friend. So nobody actually ties the boat, and they literally tie it to itself. And then they're out at sea, and you would think it's like a cute little romance, like they're out at sea, it's really cute. No. Like, they get drunk, and she literally, like, with a knife, like, oh! She cuts him open. And he almost has, like, a infection. And then they put all the alcohol on the wound instead of drinking it, which is smart. But they're actually sad about that, which, I mean, come on, he's literally dying. That's not something to worry about right now. But anyways, and then basically they think they're rescued like 500 times, and in the end they're almost dying, and then they're rescued. And then they have a third act breakup, a miscommunication trope, and then they're back together, which means yay! And I gave the book 3.5 stars because it was pretty boring. And with that, literally nothing. I have discussed all the books that I read this month, and well, it was a pretty good month. I read 11 books in total, and I didn't DNF a single one, which, to be fair, I have never in my entire life DNF'd a book. I only put them on hold. Okay, and this was the whole video, and I will see you next week. Bye!